Hello, welcome or welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz, and of course, I will be guiding you on this journey today. This is the reading for the 6-2 Human Design Profile, the Role Model Hermit. If you don't know what your Human Design profile is, there's a link in the description for you to get your body graph, and your profile will be listed on there. I keep hearing in my head, happy birthday. So, oh my gosh. If it is your birthday, if your birthday's coming up, if whenever you're watching this reading, if it is your birthday, happy birthday. I hope it's an amazing day, an amazing year, week, weekend, all of the good things. You deserve it. But yeah, so you don't need to know much else about human design other than, of course, your profile in order for these messages to resonate. My intention is for these readings to be an additional avenue to receive information, because not every 6-2 is an Aquarius or, a Taurus. So definitely check out your zodiac sign readings if you haven't done so already. Those are all available. What else? Anything? Let me just kind of wake up these cards a little bit. Whoa, they're awake. We're not going to take those because I have been, let's just kind of put them, I've been really trying to focus on setting an intention prior to starting the readings. And of course, just being a bit more intentional about, frankly, my life in general. Scorpio season for me was like intentions, like that was the focus. So I do want to set an intention that I'm still kind of working on. Like I had to write it down because I'm not one of those people that can just come up with an intention, or, like people who are like really good with affirmations too. Not me. So I did have to write it down, and like I said, I think I'm honestly just saying that out loud because I feel like it's not perfect yet. So anyway. All right, let's set the intention and we'll get into your reading. Crown open, I anchor into the present and the truth within it. I welcome only what is clear, balanced, and aligned. All distortion, fear, and interference remain outside this space. May these messages travel through me, not from me, to those who called for them, carrying honesty, clarity, and calm. All right, so let's get a couple cards for our 6-2s. 3 is my favorite number, so we get 3 cards for the most part. Any more than that, I feel like the reading just can be longer than they usually are. For our 6-2s. Was that 3? I think so. We'll do the 3 of Cups first. We have the Magician, and we have the 2 of Pentacles. Beautiful. Is everything? We can see everything? We'll look at the bottom of the deck here in a bit. Okay, so there's a couple things that are going through my head, and I'm just going to say all of them. That's what I try to do with these readings anyway. Of course, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. You know, same thing we hear with every single tarot reading. And there's clearly support here. There's clearly a desire to work with other people or support maybe other people. And even maybe gain like support for yourself through other people. There's this energy of like there's other people, but then how it like affects yourself. And part of me, on the one side, it's either, you know, like the people around you are like really almost like pumping you up to take action towards something, to like manifest something into the physical world. You know, like maybe it's something that you have been talking about within your network, within your friend group for some time, and they're like just really supportive of it and just almost like cheering you on as far as like getting it going, to actually start taking steps towards it. There's that. The other thing is, like I said, you know, like even maybe that like seeing a need within a community or within a space that you know that you can fill that need. And it does have to do with other people in whatever aspect that would be, whether it is like you supporting, whether it's like you, even with your sixth line, it could also be, of course, sharing your experience in life or in the actual niche or like, you know, area of, I want to say expertise, but whatever area you see that there's, it's like there's a, oh my God, have I finished an actual sentence? Like, I wish things would drop into my head faster a lot of the time. It's like my mouth is moving faster than the information is like coming into my head. But it's not like you see a gap, right? Like you see a gap in whatever market we're talking about here, right? And you're like, I could fill that gap. I see that there's a need for this in the collective that is in that gap, right? And you take action towards it. You create the thing, right? Because it's one of those things of, if it doesn't exist, create it. And this is positive for that. The other thing that is coming to mind is the need to rely more on yourself, like work on your own like self-validation, your own self-worth, versus like siphoning that out of other people or like gauging that out of other people. Like, you know how we have the tendency to share ideas or, you know, something that we are excited about, and it's almost like to see if the people we're sharing it with have the same excitement, or, you know, if they get the vision or whatever. And if they don't, if the vibes are off, or if the vibes aren't what you thought it would be, then it almost kind of like takes the wind out of your sails, and you're like, oh, maybe not. Maybe that wasn't what I thought it was. Or, and relying on that validation or, other people's, like even just their, like if they don't get it, then it's not a good idea, but that's not it, right? Like it's just that they don't get it and they're not supposed to. It's not going to be for them, you know? It's like one of those things where, and I'm just using this as an example. I mean, it could, of course, be something that is on social media. It doesn't necessarily have to be, or, I mean, that could be where you market the thing, but it's like your social media is not for your friends, right? Like, have you seen those videos where it's like you don't make content for your friends? You make content that you love. And, the audience, the people that get it are the people who follow you or that interact with you. Or, like if you relied solely on your friends to be your, like, I don't know about you, but like I have nowadays, I have like 4 friends. So like if I relied on those, and I do, I have one of my besties comments on any video that she watches of mine, any of these tarot readings, and she doesn't watch all of them, and I don't expect her to. Obviously she watches the ones that relate to her. But anything that I post on TikTok, which I post just more personal shit and like other, my like money making job, like I'll post those videos. She'll like those and comment on those, but every single one of my friends don't do that. So, you know what I mean? Like, so my point, like if you're relying on your friends to like fill that cup or create that energy for you, then this is also just like reminding you that you have it in you. Like you're the one that has the idea. You're the one that has the information, the experience, the life experience, or even, the training, the skills, whatever. Like you're the one that has what you need. And I understand if it's like one of those things that just kind of gets you going. It's like, just almost kind of collecting that energy as far as like the reassurance that it's a good idea, the reassurance that you can do it, just having that support system, having people like, that have your back, that aren't telling you like, oh, that's a dumb idea or whatever. First of all, if people are telling you that, they're not your friends. So fuck them. It's, about to be 2026. We're not bringing that energy with us anymore. That pisses me off. So, yeah, if anybody ever says that, or if anybody is like, whatever, like, ugh, there you go with another, whatever, like we're just not, we're not doing that. And also, I mean, that has more to do with them too. Like we're not taking on responsibility for other people's insecurities and, them not taking chances on themselves, because that's where that shit's coming from. But anyway, I digress. Let's bring it back. What is this? 3 cards here? This is probably more than 3. It's 4. Okay, let me just look at them, because we have the Devil, the World, 7 of Pentacles, Temperance. All right, let's just... And okay, actually, I think this is perfect, because I'm kind of feeling almost complete with talking about these, in a sense, like at least the energy that's coming to mind with these cards. So I'm kind of glad, because it's been like 14 minutes, which I guess I could leave it there. But the reason too, so over here with the 3 of Cups, which I know it's like sideways for me. When cards, like I don't shuffle reversals into my decks. Like my OCD, I cannot handle cards being in 2 different directions. I can't handle that. But if they come out in the reverse, or however they do come out, we honor that. So for me, when the top of the card is facing the left side, that tells me that the card is working its way to upright. If the top of the card is facing the right side, then it's like kind of working its way into the reverse. So, just like clockwise. Is that the right word? So the Three of Cups is working its way to upright. This could also even be like trying to determine or trying to figure out who your audience is. And also, I really don't think that that's for you to necessarily figure out. Just start doing it. And I'm saying that because of the Magician card. The Magician is literally like you have everything that you need in order to do the thing. So also, anytime I see the Magician, I think of the Sword of Gryffindor from Harry Potter, because the Sword of Gryffindor shows up to whoever needs it at the exact moment that they need it for the purpose that they need it for. And that's a Magician card. It's like right now in this moment, as you're watching this, you have exactly what you need to manifest, to start, because it's a 1, to start the thing. Whatever you need, clarity, connections, whatever, that will show up for you as you need it at the right time for the right purpose that you need it for. But you need to start in order for those things to, for one, even be realized, right? Like right now you're like, oh, I need this, that, whatever. You may not eventually, or come to find out, right? Like as you start doing it, as you start taking steps, baby steps or whatever, right? You'll be like, oh, I actually didn't need that. I actually need this other thing. And it'll show up for you at the moment that you need it. And with the two, and that they have their hand on the Ace of Pentacles down here. And then we have the Two of Pentacles next. She's holding the pentacle in her hand and the other pentacle under her arm there with these steps. Like this is literally taking those steps on your own too, right? We have the Three of Cups over here where there's multiple people on the card. Over here we have yourself. There's something to do like with balance as well. Even like multiple responsibilities. Either way, there are steps, literal steps that are being taken here. And almost, and even like at the beginning of this reading, I was talking about intention, right? And maybe it is like slowing yourself down and being more intentional over the steps that you do take. And whatever it is, you're going to be able to carry it. Now, I do want to talk about these cards that were from the top of the deck. I just kept looking at, like they were just kind of like offset a little bit, and I just kept looking at them and I'm like, okay, same with like when I said happy birthday at the beginning, like it just kept like cycling through my brain. I'm like, okay, I'll say it, I'll grab the cards to like just relieve that energy. And so we have the Devil, we have the World, we have the Seven of Pentacles, we have Temperance. The Devil is Capricorn. The World is fixed signs. So Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Leo. Temperance is Sagittarius, which we are in Sagittarius season now. This really feels like ending a cycle of like self-sabotage, limiting beliefs. It's like the stuff that holds you back, the stories that hold you back, our personal beliefs about either ourselves or what we believe to be possible. It could also be other people's beliefs and what they believe possible. Like my dad, super, super duper traditional. I mean, my mom too. My mom is just more let her figure it out type of thing. My dad is more, you have to have a traditional job, a 401k, like you work there until you retire. My dad is 81, right? I mean, that's what he did. So for the longest time, I had that same belief system that I could not function or I could not live outside of that perception of either success or life, right? And truly corporate type jobs sucked the ever loving life out of me. And I left my last corporate job in 2021 and I have not been back. And I have figured it out. Am I making substantially less money? Yeah. But are my bills paid? Yes. Do I love what I do? I fucking do. There's definitely, like areas of my life where I was like, I used to love this and now I'm loving it less. And, kind of having to make those shifts. But that's what this devil card feels like is, if you've had a belief about, and too, like if you had a dream, right? Like if you thought it was going to go a certain way, you made decisions based on it. And if those things weren't, it was like imprinted on or conditioned onto you. That's like a big thing with human design is like deconditioning. Anyway, that's what the devil card feels like is leaving, and especially with the world card behind next to it, leaving behind, just not even giving energy to those thoughts. And when they do pop up, because they fucking will, like Brene Brown calls them gremlins. When they do pop up, just be like, oh, hey, you again. But I'm going to continue. I'm going to proceed forward. I'm going to feel the fear and do it anyway. I'm going to feel the doubt. I'm going to do it anyway. Because it's like one of those things where you how can you not? And maybe you have not for a while. And it's like the discomfort of that is like, I'd rather try than to like continue the what if cycle and the, getting excited and feeling possibility around it. And then maybe, like one minor inconvenience, because believe me, same, it almost kind of, like again, just deflates the whole thing. Okay. That's going to happen too, but you just keep getting back up and you just keep trying. And this is clearly telling you like now is the time. And also that the energy is available to stop or at least, because like I said, it may not be something that all the way is not there. It's just something that you're like, I know it's going to be there. I trust myself to move beyond it. I trust myself even to work in tandem with it. I'm just not going to let it stop me or prevent me from doing something anymore. Whatever that story is, whatever that limiting belief, the sabotage, it's like allowing yourself to work through it, the resistance even. Like I said, with the world card here. The Seven of Pentacles, even like with the Temperance card, it's like feeding energy into, and it's the literal, the physical manifestation of a thing is Pentacles. I love this. Like the Seven of Pentacles is you focusing your attention, your resources, your materials, your physical presence into a thing in order to make it grow, right? Like I always give this example that you can't just plant a seed into the ground and literally do nothing else and expect to be able to harvest a vegetable or fruit from it, right? Like you literally have to water it every day, which means your resources, your time, your physical presence there to water it. You have to prune it if it's something that needs to be pruned. You need to even like research the best way to do it, right? Like that, again, it's taking your time. It's taking you're physically showing up for it. And when I say resources, like water would be a resource, soil would be a resource. The space where you have it is a resource, the money in order to do those things. But it's like literally investing in yourself though too, right? It's trial and error. You know, there could be a pest that shows up and it's like, what the fuck? Like, you were fine yesterday and now there's big ass tomato worms or something, you know, like that's always the thing that like comes to mind when I like talking about the Seven of Pentacles. But truly though, if you allow yourself to show up, right? If you commit yourself to showing up, you will learn lessons along the way. You will strengthen the trust within yourself, and you will manifest the thing into physical reality. It will grow. And I love too how out of this one cup she's feeding 7 pentacles that look like little seeds in the ground. And it's, to me, this literally feels like the energy coming from you. Water in tarot is about our emotions, intuition, compassion, grace, love. This is definitely something that you love, that you have a passion and a purpose around. And truly, it's going to just flow out of you. And I think you already fucking know that. Temperance is about alchemy, blending together energies. Also, it's step by step. Step by step. Ooh, baby. Oh my God, is that New Kids on the Block? Maybe listen to that. But it's like, you know, it's the act of turning water into wine. Turning your passion into a career, into money, into, you know, a physical representation of it. Like even this tarot channel, right? Like this is turning my passion and my interest into a physical thing for all 5 of you to watch. You know, it's very intimate. It's like we're just hanging out. And like, you know, like with there being I had this like shift in my own perspective the other day. Because truly, like I really do get like around like 4 or 5 views like per video. And, I'm like, you know, for a second there, I was like, maybe this just isn't going to be successful and you know, but I'm gauging that level of success on how many views or how many comments I get, both of which I don't get mainly. But then I'm like, you know what? These are actually more like personal readings. You know, like they get to whoever they need to get to. And I really do truly hope that they do resonate, that they do help, that there's something, you know, coming out of them. But with the Temperance card, it is like, you know, step by step commitment. Also too, there's a patience element because it's like, you know, like giving time for things to gel, to come together. I always think of like tempering chocolate, and I've never done it, but I've seen it on the Food Network a bunch. But you know, like you have to, there are certain steps that you have to take. Right. And if you try to skip a step or if you try to like rush through something, you could ruin the chocolate and there's no saving it. You would literally just have to start over again. So even, you know, like being in transitionary periods, which I'm not sure that Sagittarius loves being in transition or like in the messy middle. The Sagittariuses that I know, like the Sagittarius suns and risings that I know, don't really love to like be in that transition period where it's not this or that, you know, but like it will eventually become something, which is kind of funny that Temperance would be a Sagittarius card because it is kind of the messy middle. But the messy middle is like literally part of A and B. Like it's the part between. let's just see what's at the bottom of the deck. And I usually use this time to invite or to ask, people to subscribe to the channel if they haven't already. But like I said, I know all 5 of you have already subscribed to the channel. So thank you for that. And of course, if you haven't subscribed already, and if you're still here, bro, just subscribe to the shit. We have the 5 of Cups at the bottom of the deck and the 7 of Cups after that. This is definitely like the 5 of Cups, the 7 of Cups, the 10 of Cups. Yeah, especially where this 5 of Cups is on top of the 3 of Cups, on top of the Devil, the World card. This really is a period where whatever is coming up for you, it could be, this is what happened in the past, like, again, I got so far and this happened, or it didn't work out for whatever reason, or again, which could be coming from your limiting beliefs or your own self-sabotage, which is totally valid. But also, I mean, like, it's a learning thing though, too. Like, allow those things to be learning, and also allow yourself to like slow down enough to where you see where those things start creeping in. Any, negative talk, any, insecurity, whatever, when that starts creeping in, slow down and just be like, okay, what is happening? What's the story? What's the narrative that's coming up? And is that true? Most times it's not. Most times it's just, again, insecurity, inconvenience, old shit, And allow yourself, though, to take one step beyond that. Like where you would have stopped before, or where you would have, just kind of felt that hesitation or the resistance. Allow yourself to go further, like 1 or 2 steps further. The 5 of Cups, it is about like depression, grief, loss. And I think it's also too like a really good time to review those things. Like, again, like where you would have stopped in the past. There's still these 2 cups here. So there's still opportunity. There's still energy. There's still emotion available. But maybe you just need to truly grieve how something didn't work out in the past. And just tell yourself, it's okay that it didn't work out. It fucking sucks. Disappointment sucks. Things falling apart sucks. That's totally valid. It's also not a reason to not try again, or it's not a reason to quit altogether, which again, I fucking get. The 7 of Cups is about options. I love that their focus is on this 1 cup here. There is a full moon tomorrow in Gemini. Wherever Gemini is for you, it's the last full moon of the year as well. That, it could be, again, like releasing. It's also too about narrowing down, if all these like ideas like flood your, and I know we're talking cups, not swords here. But this is a card about like daydreaming, head in the clouds type of thing. And that for me, like tends to happen when it's like there's too many ideas, which I feel is actually a form of self-sabotage. But if there's like one thing to focus on with this 1 cup here, and if you take the action, you take the steps, you put the energy into that 1 cup, prioritizing one thing, it's like it has an effect on all of the other things too. But it's not so overwhelming where you're like, I have to have the energy and the focus on all these different things. And of course it doesn't have to be 7 different things, but and it's like, I don't have whatever, I don't have the time, I don't have the energy, I don't have the whatever. Like I said, I feel like that's a form of self-sabotage. 7 of Cups on top of the 7 of Pentacles as well, which again, I was saying with the 7 of Pentacles, There's one bowl or whatever of water here that she's pouring that is feeding each one of these. Same with this Seven of Cups here. Like you only need the one. But these other ones are still available in the tree, right? It's like almost this feeling with the Seven of Cups, like, or the Five of Cups. There's other energy that will still be available to you. Like, it'll be there when you get around to it. But if you think you have to like focus on everything at one time, that could be the reason why there hasn't been any progress or any forward motion, when ultimately, like, you don't. And again, I feel like you know that too. I keep like getting these like things of like, I know you know. This is just like confirmation of that. The Ten of Cups. Talk about community. The Ten of Cups is a collective card. It's like the minor arcana card to the sun card. It's joy and bliss and everything good. And everybody's cups feel fulfilled and purposeful, and family connections, It's also a completion. And maybe too, like, that's a scary thing, like, or just feeling the responsibility of that, but again, I mean, we really do not know until we get into it. But I love that the Ten of Cups is here at the end of the reading, because ultimately you are going to feel good. People around you are going to feel good. The Ace of Wands here being that spark, the thing that gets you going. Beautiful. I'm going to leave it there. And I close the space with gratitude and ease. All energies are released, returning to their rightful paths. May what was received be integrated with clarity and peace. Bye.